Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Tasha Manning, right?
I'm Marlene Cuellar.
And I'm April Martinez.
And thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Thursday, February 10th, nice and cool outside.
Cold and chilly and breezy and a lot of checkpoints.
Really?
Like 4.
Interesting.
And like 3 in Belize City alone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Yeah, but I guess we'll find out later on today.
Yeah, I think they have times when they increase the number of checkpoints. I know a lot of people will speculate it's around the time when people get paid.
That's what I was wondering. I asked Shanice this morning, I'm like, are we getting paid today? Because if that's it, then I'm okay with that. But, you know.
Well, you didn't get a ticket, right?
No, I did not. I'm a good driver.
There you go. But if it does increase safety, that's always a good thing to slow down the speeding on the highway. But yeah. This morning, I guess people are buzzing about quite a few things. Yes. Number one on that would be Shine Barrow's interview yesterday on Wendy Williams.
Wendy, you know, I just like segue, but Wendy is a really good show in the terms of she's all about latest trends and hot gossip and stuff like that. And so, and I know he did another show when he was out. Yeah, to his visit before, so you know him doing media rounds is not necessarily new to us. But what did you think about it?
Well, I mean, he gave a preview the day before that he had recorded the interview, so I think everyone kind of checked it out today. It was an 11-minute interview. I guess the part that has people buzzing the most is the fact that he said he's the leader of the House of Representatives, and there was a standing ovation that came from that, led by Fat Joe. And I mean, he's the leader of the opposition in the House of Representatives. I don't know if he misspoke or it was deliberate. Yes. We know, we work on television. Sometimes you say things not in the right way because your mind just doesn't catch up with, or your mouth doesn't catch up with what your mind wants to say. So I guess that's a question he'll have to answer, but he did announce himself as the leader of the House of Representatives.
Right, and then also it's like a campaign sort of for maybe he's going to be running for prime minister at some point.
Yeah, so they were very clear about that, that he's going to, you know, I think they called him the greatest hip hop story ever, from the streets of Belize to prison to elected official. Soon to be leader of the party and then prime minister of Belize.
I know when we had him
quite a trajectory.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good plot for a good movie.
Well, they did mention that's happening too.
I know that when he was here, I think a couple of weeks ago, we didn't ask him on camera if there might be like a movie about him at some point. But I think John was kind of like jokingly hinting whether or not something like that would happen. But why not, right? Well, stranger things have happened in this country.
I would not be surprised if there is a movie that comes out, period, because it is the ideal kind of Hollywood plot, as you said, the rags to riches, but the devil is in the details. And I think, you know, what we know locally versus how you just kind of summarize the basic plot internationally, it's very different. We know familial involvement, we know just in the fact that he is still a junior politician for us, and even the path towards the leader of the opposition. Both times, it's not been where he's been selected. He has been selected by his fellow area representatives, but not necessarily the traditional route of being the leader of the party and then the leader of the opposition.
I think that it kind of tells you how media is very influential in its own right, because we know the story, we know the details. Well, to some extent, we know the details. And if you want to make a good Hollywood movie, you kind of have to jam-pack it with some drama, right?
But I have no doubt. I'm I would be surprised if somebody doesn't pursue that one. And there are plus sides to us. I'll say one thing. I felt that listening to the interview, if you separate the politics out of it, which is really hard for a lot of us, but if you separate the politics out of it, it is a very big platform, and the primary focus of the conversation was Belize.
Right. And I do feel like he is trying to put us on that global stage. Whenever he goes out and he does his interviews, whenever he's on the media, he tries his absolute best to show positivity and positive light about Belize. So I will commend him for that. And I know that not many politicians do the pop culture and the media in this kind of way. This is a new way of doing politics.
Well, I don't think that there would be much interest in a Belizean politician if he did not have his hip hop history. I think that would be very unlikely that a leader of a nation.
Advantage, really. So
I think it's very clearly part of the campaign.
Yes.
And so, especially as we lead up to that leadership convention in March, these are the kind of things I'm sure he's going to remind people. I did go on that show. I did talk about Belize and bring that attention. And he also acknowledged the latest release of a song by a Belizean artist,
Stig,
or good
yes.
friend, Stig, the artist here in Belize, with his collaboration with DJ Khaled and Davido.
I do have to comment. I mean, he is the music ambassador.
Is he though? I'm not sure if he's still the music ambassador. He was. I'll have to check.
Put in the comments if you know, fact check us and let us know.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is that you can tell that is his passion, that he does want to promote that creative sector of Belizean artists. And I mean, you know, if that is your goal, that is your ultimate goal, stick with it and follow it through. And so far, he is delivering.
Yeah. Well, I think there are two things. There's talking about promoting Belize and musical artists, but there's also the role of being the leader of the party and the leader of the opposition in the country, and what work you would be able to do. So for now, when I look at it, in addition, you know, while I can separate, it's great to hear about Belize on a platform like this, it's also, those are just words. We are accustomed to campaign words sounding real good. Action is going to be what matters the most.
Absolutely, and that is why when he was here that day, I asked him, how are you going to do these policies? How are you going to implement certain things?
Yeah.
Why do you want to implement certain policies? And the truth of the matter is that politics is a meticulous game. You have to be able to know how to play it, and you have to be able to know how to speak certain languages. And when I say that, I mean the language of politics is very much different from the way you and I understand everyday conversation.
Absolutely.
And when we talk about politics, you have to make sure that the people are convinced.
Yeah.
And if your people are convinced, you will get voted in,
Yeah.
right? How you deliver afterwards. And that is something in Belize that we don't do.
The follow through.
Yeah, we don't do the follow through. We don't hold them accountable. And that, I think I preach that every time me and you come on the show. Keep your politicians in check, right? And that goes into the House, the Senate meeting that they had.
Well, before that, I think it was, you know, seeing the interview yesterday was such a interesting juxtaposition from having the interview with Senator Darrell Bradley that morning.
Yeah.
I know our viewers know that he joined us to be able to talk about all that was happening within the United Democratic Party, and of course the burning question as to whether or not he is going to submit himself to potentially be a candidate for the leader of the UDP. And so when I hear the conversation, when I reflect on the conversation that we had with Senator Bradley and then see the interview with Shine, it's really interesting to see the differences. I know that with the interview in the morning, it was very clear that Senator Bradley, I think he's decided, but perhaps not publicly saying as yet. But he does say that he is still consulting with people. He knows that members of the party, they have reservations about whether or not he will be able to win a seat in the House of Representatives and what that means.
I think that as a politician that's already in the game and you're kind of seeing certain events occur, you do have that that sort of epiphany where you want to do something about it, but then you also have these responsibilities at hand. So how is it that you determined what is more important, where your priorities lie, and do you see yourself neglecting certain issues or certain communities because you're going to run for leader of the opposition?
Yeah, I'll say with that conversation, I think it was great to hear directly from a member of the UDP, kind of just a very firm stance on gender-based violence, and he spoke of the frustrations of having a 6-hour meeting to make a decision when, for him, he calls it an issue that's a non-starter, that we shouldn't even entertain.
Why are we talking about
this as a potential issue that our leader is facing. So I'm sure that saying things like that publicly, it takes a level of courage, because when you're a part of a group, it's like you can have internal fighting, but never take your dirty laundry outside. But I think for the wider public who's kind of been watching and scratched their head after the weekend, saying 48 to 49 people, that was the margin in deciding whether or not Patrick Bob would continue as leader of the opposition, as leader of the party. It was very confusing. And so hearing that, I think, showed that, one, that there was some convincing that had to be done, and that they are not a united party at this point.
It makes you wonder, though, that how do certain politicians and certain leaders of our country take these issues seriously? Because it is a serious issue, regardless if it's an allegation, regardless if there's proof or not, it happened. And if you can't hold your own people accountable for their things, then how can we, the people, trust you to hold anything accountable? And that's just how I think.
There's always, right? I've heard it said so many times before. We get the leaders we choose, quite literally.
It is so. But again, we just said we never do the follow through. We never hold them accountable. We don't get transparency. And one of the things that I guess is really frustrating as somebody that follows the whole politic race, I think political culture in this country is really interesting. But we don't follow through. And I think before this new party came in, social media was buzzing with all of these young generation people that just went to vote, that we will hold you accountable. We will hold you accountable. And so far we haven't. And it's difficult to hold them accountable too, because it's not like if you could go bang on their door and be like, hey, what happened to the thing that you said last week, right? But still, we don't ask for transparency. We don't unite to ask for that transparency.
And, I think that there are two schools of thought there. I think the level of participation that we tend to have in the undertakings of our country, it tends to be low. It's always been. I just feel that we get the energy up to election time, and then it just all wanes until the next election cycle. And there is power in the people. There's always been power in the people. We've seen it be effective before. But on the flip side of that, I think we have to realistically look at what people are facing in this country. You and I are not, the wider demographic, people face different issues. And you were talking about being, at least in this case, in the middle of a pandemic. Some people are trying to get work. Some people are trying to get food. Some people are trying to take care of the kids. And when you have your basic fundamental needs that need to be taken care of, all the other stuff becomes secondary or tertiary.
I will call us out, though, as the media, because one of the things that people do, mundane life happens, we forget. Right? And I always feel like it is the part, not just regular media, but social media as well, where we should remember, right? We should try to uphold certain stories. We should try to not allow the people to forget. And I think that is where media, social media, influencers, that is where we fail. because the minute one issue happens, another issue comes up, and then we forget about the issue prior, that we didn't even fix that in the first place. So I feel that we should, yes, hold our leaders accountable, but we should hold ourselves accountable too.
I think it's a collective effort. I do think that part of the issue that we see time and time again is that there's always that saying, it blows over like a breeze. You start hammering down on something and then people just lose interest. So it really becomes a matter of having the fourth estate, the media, continue to pressing on issues. And we know many journalists who do push towards that. But there's also just, if there's no interest from the people, then what? So there are things like I don't want to dismiss though. There are some civil society organizations that work behind the scenes, the unions especially, as the bodies that are representative of workers. They tend to step up as well, and that's why they become so prominent. We rely on them to hear what their thoughts are. So it's a leadership issue all around, but I say it goes back to it. We have to demand better, and it has to start with what we use as how we decide who we're going to vote for, and as you said, it's the follow through that comes after.
The power is in the people. I believe that wholeheartedly. We pick them.
Yeah, but then I don't want to be too naive about it, because the truth is that political victimization is real in the country.
That's very true.
And there's not enough. I mean, we can sit here and say, you get up and stand up and speak out against what's happening. But even if it doesn't happen directly to the people who step up, it happens to their family members, or they're ostracized in some way. So it takes fearlessness. And that's what we haven't been able to attain.
And the thing is that it's difficult to also do because our country is so small. You will get caught in some kind of way, and that kind of leadership and that kind of revolution perspective is dangerous.
Well, I do hope that we see, and I try to be optimistic about these things. There are younger people coming up who have decided that they don't want to maintain the status quo. Now, there's a difference between having the thought process and actually doing it. Now, it is not easy to be able to join one of the mass parties. We've seen many third parties start up, and we don't really allow them a space to grow. We stay within the two mass parties that have been established for so long. So I do have hope that we will start to see some new leaders or aspiring leaders come about. We're only 40 years old. There's still time for us to be able to get them out there to take the lead.
We forget sometimes that we are only 40 years old. I think we want to progress so quickly, and that happens. But I believe our government is too small. The job is not easy, and hopefully I will try to gain some optimism like Marlene. And
well, you have to. I mean, if we live here and we contribute towards building this country, one, it's like going back to when we have to explain to people this is your money. Like, you worked today, you gave a portion of that to the government. They're choosing how to spend it. It is your money, and you have a right to ask, what are you doing with it? Why did you do this, and why didn't you do that? And I think sometimes it's just getting back to the fundamentals of having us understand that. But we have to be optimistic, and we have to not just wish it, but as we said before, keep on pressuring.
I was going to make a comment, but I'm going to let it stay optimistic so that we can get into our show.
Because you're so optimistic to hear more about COVID.
I'm going to try, Marlene, and then you're just like...
Well, I think it's an important conversation to have. We're talking about quite a few things, including long-haul COVID. I know people out there are still suffering, and they feel like nobody has been talking about their issues. So we'll be able to hear a bit more about that. But before we get there, we are going to move into our motivation. That means it's time for our eye-opener. And our eye-opener, taken from dailyom.com, goes like this. How we attach meaning to events in our lives has a large influence on the quality of our life. The meaning we assign to our experiences, whether pleasant or distressing, is a very powerful factor in determining the quality of our lives. What we imagine events to mean will color the way we feel about ourselves, about the people in our lives, and the world at large. If we want to encourage a positive outlook, well-being, a sense of self-confidence, and even trust in the universe, we can begin by assigning more peaceful, loving meanings to what we experience. If you were recently laid off and are having difficulty finding a new job, consider that you might have hidden gifts or passions that were untapped in your regular career that you are now available to explore. The universe might simply be moving you in a more fulfilling direction. If you have recently lost a loved one, gained weight, lost money, or gotten in a fight with your partner, see if you can infuse the experience with meaning that feels loving and empowering and opens a door for you to embrace life and the world a bit more.
It reminds me of another quote that says, collect memories and not things. Yes. So that how we attach meaning to events in our lives, I do feel like that is something that people generally do. We hold events and occasions to higher standards than we do things. And even with, I like that it says if you're being laid off, you try your best to figure something else from within and try to see new possibilities for yourself and gain that self-confidence. And sometimes that's a little bit difficult to do in negative situations. It takes a lot of willpower, a lot of strong-mindedness to make good out of a bad situation. So I really like this.
Yeah. Well, I think it goes back to, what people call a silver lining. That even in the worst situations, you can find a silver lining. I say sometimes even the silver lining is hard, so you may find a silver thread to hang on to.
Yes.
But again, I think, when you look at things like job loss especially, and I'm trying to find examples that we have seen right here. We had people who completely lost their source of income when the tourism sector crashed. There was no source of money coming in, and they had to innovate, and they found, in some cases, a brand new talent, a brand new passion that they didn't know they had before.
I think it's a very human instinct though, because for example, when a loved one passes, the condolences is given, and then the first thing that somebody would usually say is, they're in a better place.
Yeah.
That we try our best to find that light in a bad situation, even if we are not feeling like there is any.
Yeah. Well, I do think that, that's a very sensitive situation for me. But I do think, and I have learned, especially when it comes to loss, that saying or trying to give positive meanings to something isn't the best way to handle it. Because it's not what a person needs at that time. Grieving is something that has to be done in a space where people are allowed to hurt and they're allowed to feel bad, and you don't have to tell them, oh, they are in a better place, or it happened for a reason, or God had a plan. You can say, I'm sorry you're going through this. And that support, I think, is the positive. That's one of the things you can look at after and say, man, that person really sat with me through that. And that helps a lot. So there are positives. I just think the traditional way we do it doesn't really help.
I think, like I said,
but we don't know.
We want to find that silver. We want to be able to, we think we're making the person feel good.
But it is going back to the core of it, where it's like helping to find meaning that helps, that will help them. And I think that in any situation you can see that. Sometimes, let's look at someone like Jerome Flores, who's a paraplegic, and he started riding competitively after he lost his legs. Like most, we think of losing an ability like that. We thought, oh, well, life is over. No, there's so many people who've showed us that it's the start of a brand new life.
I feel like it's very much a human thing to be resilient. It's
Yeah.
very much a human thing to try again.
We survive,
We
yeah.
do. We adapt.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is the positivity to COVID, that
Yeah.
we will adapt.
Well, all right, so that is our eye opener for this morning. Try to give meaning to even the challenging times in your life. All right, so moving on, we have our weather update for today. And let's hear from Angelia Guy what we can expect.
Good morning. A cool northerly airflow prevails over the area. The 24-hour forecast is for skies to be cloudy at times. For today, expect a few showers over the sea with only isolated showers developing over the mainland. And then tonight, a few showers are expected offshore and over coastal areas. High temperatures today will peak near 80 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 83 inland, and 70 in the hills. Low temperatures tonight will fall to about 72 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 68 inland, and 60 in the hills. Winds over the open sea will blow from the north and northeast at 5 to 15 knots, and sea conditions will be slight to light chop. High tide will occur at 6:48 this morning, followed by low tide at 6 minutes to 11. The sun rises at 6:21 this morning and will set at 8 minutes to 6 this evening. The moon will rise at 5 minutes to 1 this afternoon and will set at 2:28 tomorrow morning. The outlook for Friday and Friday night is for some cloudy spells along with generally isolated showers. In this week's sargassum update, there is a small chance that a few sargassum mats could drift onto local beaches during the next few days with only minimal impacts. And that ends this morning's weather report and forecast from the National Meteorological Service.
All right, so there you have it. That is our weather update for
I
today.
like this weather, Marlene.
I know, it's so nice. I think, I think if you can get out and just have that cold air, if it's still cold at this hour, it was a bit earlier,
Yeah.
just, hit your face. It's such a great way to start the day.
Okay, then, if you say
All
so.
right. And moving into our show for today.
Right, so this morning, our first conversation, we'll have Dr. Pot and Dr. Hidalgo, and they will talk to us about why it's not time to relax just yet, even though the numbers for the COVID cases are dropping.
Yeah. All right, and the second part of the show, we have Belize Estate and Company Limited talking about their new finance and leasing program.
Okay.
Maybe time to upgrade your car. You're going to get all the details about how you can take advantage of this in the second part of the show.
And then our final part of the show is going to be Jazz After Dark. I'm very excited about this. We'll have Angelise, who is a jazz vocalist, and she'll be talking to us about the virtual Valentine's special that will be taking place on Saturday.
All right, so that's what we have in store for you today. We're going to take that break, and when we come back, we're going to get our conversation started. So please, stay tuned.
We have been a partner with Smart for over 10 plus years. We have a full Smart plan we use as our major driver for our business. We have a service that rolls over in that if you call one and it is busy, it rolls over to the next line. So once you call us, you can get us at any time. Before we got this Smart service, we were paying upwards of nearly $2,000 in phone bills. Since we've had our Smart service, we pay an average about $600. So we've had tremendous saving, more than 50%. For the businesses, if you want to save money, switch to Smart because it is far more cost effective and the service is excellent.
Smart continues to be innovative in bringing new technology and meaningful savings during these challenging times to businesses across Belize. Sign up for our VoIP technology or broadband packages and save more. Stream as video on demand. Coming soon.
The Social Security Board, in collaboration with the Labor Department, takes this opportunity to remind insured persons of the requirements for compensation when on sick leave. Any employee who has worked with an employer for at least 2 months is entitled to 16 working days of sick leave with full pay every year. This is how it works. Upon approval of a sickness or injury benefit claim by SSB, 80% of the employee's weekly insurable earnings is paid as a Social Security benefit, and the difference in the employee's salary is paid by the employer. This is to ensure that the employee does not suffer any loss of wages when ill. After 16 days, compensation for sick leave is paid as a Social Security benefit only. Some conditions apply. This message is brought to you by the Social Security Board and the Labor Department. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
I never knew love until I found you. A fairy tale story that I thought would never come true. Join us on Friday, February 11th for Open Your Eyes' annual Valentine's Special. The show commences live from Smokies at 6:30 a.m. for a guaranteed time of fun, laughter, and love. But wait, that's not all. If you are ready to pop the big question this weekend to your significant other, we have an engagement ring for you. To participate, send us a private message telling your love story. Make sure to like and follow JEC Belize and Open Your Eyes BZ Facebook pages. A lucky winner will be selected this Friday. Don't miss Open Your Eyes Valentine's Special and start your morning right.
Today's COVID update is brought to you by Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
And we're back, and we're moving into our first conversation for today. While we have been not necessarily diving into this issue for a while, because we've just been hoping that the cases go down, they are. But it's a great time to remind ourselves that we're not there yet. It's not over. And so with us, we have two doctors. We have Dr. Jorge Hidalgo, who is an internist with Belize Healthcare Partners, and Dr. Shanna Pott, who is a general physician at Belize Healthcare Partners. Good morning, and welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you.
Yes. So I know the conversation I've been having over the past week has all been the same. Everyone says, we're done. We don't want to do this anymore. And with the reports of the numbers going down, it makes us feel like we're nearing the end of this.
Yeah.
I see your facial reactions. Let me just, I'm sure you've heard the same sentiment. What do you say to people about where we are now in the pandemic?
Well, thank you for having me and having us again. And I think so that is a very important question. And as you can see, each country behaves in a different pattern. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, one of the things we will love and we will probably say, okay, that's good that we are over from the pandemic. And unfortunately, it's not the case. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we are definitely put an eye on it is the trend and mm-hmm. how this Omicron pattern is being, as started in November. Mm-hmm. And then, as you can probably know already, we have, and we've been discussing this over and over, that virus by nature are going to change.
Yeah.
Mean that Omicron is one variant, but is the last one? No, definitely no. And because Omicron, one of the things that it called our attention since the beginning is his ability or the transmissibility of the Omicron. And not only that, but as probably you know already, we have 4 subvariants of Omicron.
Yep.
And of course, 3 of them probably we are not putting too much attention, but the BA.1.2 is one of the, it's been on the look.
Why?
Lately.
What's unique about that variant?
Because it's more transmissible. It makes people, of course, one of the things with Omicron at the beginning is that it can present with a variety of symptoms. And now, as globally speaking, the number of deaths has been increasing in the last weeks. No? And then again, the patterns country by country varies, and us we are in decline. But as we know already, basically when we are climbing and then coming down from a mountain, it could be really bumpy. We are really declining. We hope that is going to be the case, but is where we need to be more alert.
Yeah, I totally agree. Go ahead. Yeah.
You know, and when we say things like that, that we're in a decline, then people become very relaxed, and that's when we have to be exactly. We have to be careful because we had that peak right after Christmas and New Year's. We had, you know, like everybody that was coming in sick, and we weren't even picking up all the cases. I'm sure weren't being reported. So it's when we're in that decline that people tend to relax. You know, tourism is boosting again, and everybody wants to be out there living their life, and it's also necessary because when you're talking about people like the day workers, you know, and so it's just that even though we're seeing a decline, we still have to maintain the protocols and be careful, you know, wearing your mask and maintaining the social distancing. And these are the things that we've been saying from the very beginning. So, and like Dr. Hidalgo mentioned, that's very important, is the variants, because the more that this virus is transmitting from one person to the next, that's giving it the potential to mutate.
So how do you respond to the comments of, well, you know, it's decreasing, let's get our lives over with, get rid of curfew doesn't make sense anymore. How would you address these comments?
Yeah, well, it's the same thing that I'm saying, that, you know, it's when we have to maintain being alert to these things. So I don't think that we're there yet.
Okay.
I mean that one of the other things is, as probably we hear a lot, is that COVID is basically a common cold, but it's not the case. I mean that the Omicron definitely at all is basically give a variety of symptoms, and most of the cases are mild. But as mentioned, especially globally, the amount of deaths have been increasing. And as you can see, there are no one model that fits all countries. I mean that each country needs to adapt and basically do what is basically best in the best interest of everyone. But, and also based on the resources that we have. I mean that one of the things is that, and we see in a lot, we have patients that probably they go with completely asymptomatic, and they are scheduled for a routine procedure. And then of course, us as a hospital, we as a routine, before we admit a patient, we do testing and screening, and they became positive, and they say, but I don't have any symptoms, and they just basically go, as I say, for a regular.
That's the only reason
procedure.
they detect it.
But then you have to be conscious. These people also have to be conscious, because then they're more likely to spread it. They don't have any symptoms, so they're around their families or friends, and for some reason people tend to believe that those they're close to, they're safe around them. So that's when we let down our guard. You're having meals together and that sort of thing. So, and there's a high possibility for you to infect somebody that will become severely ill, and we have to be reminded too that we still haven't, our population is still not fully vaccinated, so we still have people who are not vaccinated. We have our children, and children I've seen several cases in which children are very symptomatic. My own child had contracted the virus, and I was just telling Dr. Hidalgo that we're still not, although he's tested negative, we're still not fully through it because he's still complaining of some minor symptoms.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the it's a catch-22 with Omicron, because it's so transmissible, and so many people have gotten it and they've been asymptomatic or mild, that it kind of gives you the impression that, oh, we can all get through it. But we've seen hospitalizations and ICU admissions. That's what I want to ask you. I mean, from the people that you are seeing in the hospitals or that are being treated, I mean, it's not mild for them.
No, actually, at probably beginning of January, and by the end of January, we were busy at our COVID-19 unit at Belize Healthcare Partners. And we have also patients that it require to be ventilated. I mean that again, the Omicron, majority of the cases are mild or asymptomatic, but also there are several people that get very ill. And the other aspects that we need to mention is that most of them have severe symptoms after all, or that we call it the post-COVID. No, it's something that also we need to probably later on we will talk about. No?
Yeah.
How do you compete with Dr. Google in the sense of, because
That's so true. Yeah.
because a lot of people, January, February, it's flu season. People have allergies and so forth. And so what people will do is they'll Google their symptoms and they'll be like, I don't have COVID, so I'm not going to get tested.
Dr. Google has always been an issue in healthcare. It's always been an issue. People will come to you and say, I have this because I Googled my
I'm dying.
And so, it's not about competing with it. It's just, presenting the facts and trying to educate as much as we can, because that's a part of our responsibility as healthcare professionals, is also to educate the public. That's the best that we can do, and try to present, science against all these things that are on the internet, because a lot of time people believe that whatever they read on the internet is facts. So I know, like lately, a lot of people have been telling me, oh, I heard that they're going to start addressing COVID like just a flu, because there's been some European leaders. I think the last one was the Prime Minister of Spain, talking about that, they need to drop the regulations and learn to live with COVID like a flu. But the health officials are not on board with that as yet, because I mean, they're the ones that we're following science and medicine, and we're seeing what is still happening worldwide with this virus.
Dr. Hidalgo, I know you keep, as a part of your network of specialists, you're always aware of what's happening in other parts of the world, not just the United States, which is all we usually watch on television. Let's talk about what scenarios you're seeing in other countries, Latin America, that perhaps can be a guidance for us here.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned before, unfortunately, there's no a model that fits all the countries.
Yeah.
In that, and one of the things is that actually we're reviewing last week about what should be the model for our country like to open the land borders, for example. And then we went and we review the trend in Europe, and you see that nobody is basically following the same model. Some countries, like Dr. Shana say, are thinking on lifting all the measures. All countries say, no, we will keep our measures as it is, and probably higher our level of measures. Some others say, okay, we're probably trying to reduce some. I mean that there are not really a standard of what we should do. No? I mean that what essentially we're saying is that we need to trying to see what are the resources that we as a country have, and based on that we need to see what is the best, because we need to take in consideration that if we are going to do this measure, what are going to be the consequences. We are prepared in terms of resources, in terms of a capacity to overcome this number of patients. Other things we also discuss is about vaccination, boosters, and also we've been discussing about the third dosage, and some other countries like being a model in Latin America, like the three we were discussing at the beginning, the 3 countries that have the best rate of vaccination, like Costa Rica, Panama, and Chile in Latin America. Actually, Chile, they already starting in the high-risk population with the 4th vaccine, with the 4th dose of the vaccine.
4th dose,
yeah.
Wow. And we still don't have very many people boosted. Can I ask, I know there is a push and continuous education on getting people their booster shots, because we've seen where 2 shots was not sufficient to be able to hold up against the existing variants. Do you think that we should perhaps move from the definition of fully vaccinated to include that 3rd shot? Because we have, what, about 30,000 people out of the 200,000 fully vaccinated that only 30,000 have gotten a booster.
Yeah, and we are moving to that direction, you know, as you know, and as it is glad that you mentioned, because when we see globally speaking, the amount of patients that basically require hospitalization has been more in the group of the unvaccinated people. The majority of deaths, globally speaking, are in the unvaccinated people. And that despite of that we need to agree that with Omicron we see a lesser on efficacy, but still good amount of protection, especially for those that got infected.
Yeah. And when we talk about the possibilities of new variants, I think, you know, it's if we see the trend that we've seen with Omicron, where at least it's not as detrimental to the body as we've seen in previous variants, do you think that will be a positive sign moving forward? Or there's no way of telling?
There's absolutely no way of telling what the next variant will bring, if it's going to be stronger or weaker, you know.
Will it hold up to the vaccine or not?
Exactly. So that's the reason why vaccination is also important, because it's the only way for us to stop the spread, you know, or to lessen the spread.
Yeah.
And the other important aspect, when we always say, you know, if the situation is that if we allow the amount of cases to be increasing, that if we have more cases, if we have more people sick or more people exposed, then the possibility of to have a new variant is definitely there. And definitely we will have a new variant, because it's the nature of a virus to survive. Right. And that we hope that probably it's going to be less dangerous than the Omicron and of course Delta. And we hope that the hope of everyone is that we are leading to the trend that this one is going to became endemic as the influenza. No?
Yeah.
And one of the things I want to mention, since you brought it, is that with influenza, no, all the measures we took at the very beginning of the pandemic, since 2020 and the end of 2021, you see that the influenza, basically, we don't see too much influenza cases. Now that, of course, everybody in a way is basically be less precaution, then we start to see a trend on influenza cases again.
Yeah, and it's caught the same way you catch COVID.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's respiratory droplets or, yeah, that's interesting. So even if you have a flu, even if you think you have a flu, it could still be COVID because
so you still have to get tested.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make that point on, I think you brought up the asymptomatic patients. How are you guys dealing with contact tracing? Is that working in any way to take preventative measures?
Well, I know that the Ministry of Health follows up with contact tracing, and there's the database where all the testing facility have to upload their data at the end of every day.
Okay.
You know, so I know like some of the polyclinics that are doing testing, they cut off at 2 because then they have to upload that data so that it's available at the end of the day for reporting, for contact tracing, and all that, you know. But as a healthcare professionals out there too, we do our best to educate people once they've tested positive. You know, you need to inform the people around you. So sometimes when the ministry reach out and, well, you tested positive and your household needs these people already went and got their test and things like that. But it's also important that when people go and get tested, the time that they go and get tested, because the virus has an incubation period.
Yes.
And, you know, so that's how some of the cases have been missed as well, because people may go too early to be tested and they're like, oh, I was negative.
Yeah.
So then they don't go back.
It's interesting though, right? Because it could be symptomatic. Like I could go test today because I feel symptoms and it could be negative, but I still would have to go back and test and then it'll be positive.
Yeah, so that is the reason why it's important that you know that you had that contact.
Yeah.
You know that there's a high possibility. And even if you don't know that you had a direct contact, I mean, there has been so many cases and increasing you never know where you could have picked it up.
Yeah.
So the minute you start with symptoms, you have to do the responsible thing and isolate, get tested. And even if the test is negative, you know, maybe wait a few more days and retest, because it's a responsible thing to do to try to put an end to this.
I often feel like that is the difficulty though, because let's say you were in contact with somebody that tested positive on Friday, or they were positive on Friday and they didn't test till Saturday, and then they told you on Saturday, but you were with them on Friday. So then when do you test?
Yeah.
You know, that is in itself is also like a bit of confusion, no?
Yeah, with Omicron especially, because Omicron, it changes everything. It reduces the incubation period. I mean, and also that's important to know that with the Delta or the previous variant, we say we already at the 4th of the 7th day, more or less you will have symptoms, but with Omicron is different. You will the incubation period is less. The moment you are going to become positive could be earlier, but also the other thing is that you are completely asymptomatic. But and that's one of the excuses that many people say, you know what, it's best to get Omicron right now because you are going to get like a flu and you will get over it, and that's it.
Yeah.
But we need to remember that more or less we don't know. It's not an exact science, but more or less after 90 days, then you'll be at risk to become reinfected again.
See, that's the thing that people don't, well, I think they are a little bit ignorant about, is that you could catch COVID twice.
You can
More
catch
than
COVID
twice.
More than twice, you know,
There's
you
the
can take it, you
high
can get it
possibility
multiple
of
times. It's not like
reinfection.
chicken pox, but I say you'll catch it once and you're golden, right? So you still have to be careful even after, because you have COVID confidence. It's a trend. I catch COVID, I free to be now, and then.
Do we know though if because that is interesting. So the repeated cases of COVID, is it all different variants, and do we know yet whether you can catch Omicron again?
you can catch Omicron again, and because
Confirmed. Wow.
Of course, it's the only way we can say this if we have the possibility to sequence everyone.
That's true.
But unfortunately, this is not the case, no, because of course, even that again, and I want to say it because even that we believe we are the luxury that we have our own sequencing in country. We are only the few countries that have that luxury. It's very difficult to sequence everyone. It's as far as expensive, no. But that should be the only way.
Wow. Is there a difference between how COVID affects the body if you have repeated infections?
It's difficult to say.
Okay.
Again, COVID it can present in a variety of ways, especially with Omicron. It's not like, oh, you will have a respiratory symptom. You can have no symptoms, or you can have muscle ache, headache, just a scratchy throat,
back pain. I've heard people complain about back pain with
back
Omicron.
Pain, the vomiting and diarrhea,
chest
pains. So.
But you know, one of the things that we have learned, and that's probably the hardest part about this pandemic, is that science is discovering while we are living with the realities. So sometimes what we knew in the beginning, we learn better with time. So what we know now is that COVID is systemic. You've mentioned that a few times. It's not just like a flu. Is Omicron affecting the body the same way as the previous variants did?
Definitely, yes. And then one of the things we say, and also we are learning, is the post-COVID, and I will enter to that conversation now. We have in Belize Healthcare Partners the post-COVID unit. Post-COVID unit.
Okay, so it means you've recovered from COVID.
Yeah, being that what we realize is that we see the patients with COVID, but also we have the patient with post-COVID. And we started a couple months ago with the post-COVID unit, and then we have the lung rehabilitation as well.
Wow.
Because we see patients that after COVID, we have patients that they have COVID and after a year they still require oxygen.
Wow.
In those that have the lung affected bad. But also COVID can give you other symptoms after all. No? You can have tiredness, you can have nightmares, you can have problems to adapt, psychiatric issues. I mean, that is a variety of symptoms.
But test negative, right? They test negative afterwards.
They are negative, but again, we are still dealing with post-COVID symptoms.
Yeah, they call it long haul COVID too. I didn't realize that. I read a case of a woman who was suffering with depression as one of her long haul COVID symptoms.
Exactly.
In addition to fatigue and other physical ailments. Do you think that perhaps people in Belize who have had COVID, whether mild or moderate, are perhaps experiencing symptoms of long haul COVID and not know?
A lot. I mean, that what we're seeing is that we're seeing more people coming to do the post-COVID evaluation. We do lung measuring capacity testing with the respiratory therapy. Also, we do those type of evaluations to see if there's any psychiatric problems. We have psychiatry unit at the hospital. And we see a range, a variety of symptoms of different people having and adapting the post-COVID, and for some people are very difficult. Some of them, they are unable to go back to work.
Wow.
I have patients that we need to send it to do the Social Security, all the board by Social Security after a year, because they were unable to go back to work because of the most important symptoms that basically cause problem and is the lung, because what happened after COVID is that there are a lot of scar tissue. We call it a pulmonary fibrosis, and basically that causes is problems that they will be basically unable to win from oxygen. They still require oxygen. Some of them 24 hours a day, some others just for a period of time, but also a lot of fatigue and a lot of shortness of breath. That's all the more incapacitating problems we are seeing.
And even things like blood pressure, high blood pressure, diabetes, these are things that have an onset after COVID for some people?
For some people, that they basically the trigger point for diabetes is COVID. The trigger point for high blood pressure is COVID. So that's something that we are seeing. Some say, okay, but I never have problems with glucose. We never have problems with high blood pressure. But during COVID, we start to
Is
see
it
that.
because it weakened the immune system and it caused a reaction in the body? Or is it just you probably had underlying symptoms before and then COVID kind of just
You see that the COVID is very interesting one because as we probably are all this amount of people in the room, and if we are exposed to COVID, probably only myself I'm going to get COVID, and no one is is getting COVID. No, and say, but and that's the question everybody say, you know, why if I was in the same room with the people, and why only me?
Yeah.
But that's
and you are vaccinated and boosted.
Exactly. I mean that the genetic.
I think in
and
the
way.
future, many years from now, when they're able to really do the science, they'll find out that there probably is a genetic component or something that makes, because it is strange how some people are affected and some are unaffected, some contract it and some don't.
And it's even strange the symptoms that certain people present as opposed to others, you know, so it's hard to say. One of the important things that I want to mention with the Omicron variant is the increase in hospitalization in our children. We've had quite a few over at Belize Healthcare Partners, and I know that Carl Huschner has also seen a number of pediatric cases that had to be hospitalized who've been severely ill, you know, and of children that I've known, like parents would call me and ask me questions or things like that. They've been severely ill with high-grade fever and gastrointestinal problems. So I find that sometimes we're very relaxed with our children, and especially in the variants before, that wasn't really affecting the children. So you see kids out at the park, they're not wearing their masks and that sort of thing. So I think that it's important to put out a message that we also have to be very careful with our kids. I know they're back in school, and the schools have taken the necessary precautions, and they have regulations set in place for them to be safe. But we have to stress that as well, because there has been an increase in the hospitalization of children.
And you know, what are the reasons? Is it like dehydration? Is it just a short recovery and then they're able to go be released?
For the most part, I know the ones that have been at Healthcare Partner has been more of that, the gastrointestinal problems or the high-grade fever, more than respiratory problems. But remember that children are more predisposed to become dehydrated quicker. You know, so that constant vomiting or diarrhea, we have to be very careful with it, because they could get very ill in a short period of time.
And the cases that we're seeing now, this decline, I'm gonna put that in, this decline. With the reopening of schools, we see children getting more infected, quote unquote. Yes? No.
Well, the situation is probably not only that, but also the same the fact that we believe that Omicron is not as aggressive. That what is basically leading to is that we are mixing more. You know, the mixing is increasing. Everybody are basically more relaxed, and that's why it's important that we are talking about that we are in a decline, and that's why I say decline is, as we are coming down in a mountain, is bumpy, mean that right now is when essentially we need to be basically more precautions.
Are we seeing now that these cases might be affecting children? Are we seeing more of the 12 years and up getting vaccinated?
Well, sorry.
I know that there's been campaigns like at the schools, in the villages. The Ministry of Health has done, you know, I must commend them on their vaccination efforts because they've been out there. So it's available. I cannot tell you what the numbers are in terms of that age being vaccinated, but I know that people are, you know, I think the schools are requiring it as well.
Yeah.
And so, but the campaign is definitely there for it, and
Yeah,
the
now they're at
vaccine
the
is
booster phase.
exactly, exactly. They just announced that as well. So,
I know a lot of people are waiting on the younger group to get access to the vaccination as well. We keep on hearing from the Ministry of Health that it is going to be soon. I think they're waiting for some vaccines.
Yeah, basically the ministry is working on that to get the vaccines for the 5 to 12 to be vaccinated, and hopefully we can get this soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let me, you know, I think it's interesting when you talk about, you know, why we feel so cautious in this decline is because it's natural. When there's less of a threat, we're not as cautious. You know, when the cases are high, you don't want to go even to the supermarket. When you start to hear and see numbers go down, you think that you have more freedom and you take more risks. But let's jump forward a bit. Next month, it's going to be officially the start of our third year in the pandemic. We detected our first case in March 2020. What do you think that will look like?
Well, again, and everybody hope that we didn't have this conversation today.
Yeah.
We want to say that probably we are over the pandemic, but we are not there as yet. We hope that, but we are not there as yet. And all of us want to know that probably with the Omicron, as you see, Omicron came and essentially took over Delta very quickly, and then we definitely, in terms of the epidemiological point of view, need to also to adapt to new views, and we hope that everybody can, or we can reach the 70% people to get vaccinated, but that's definitely globally is not the case. No? I think so. We as a country, we have the luxury to have all these vaccines available, but unfortunately the response has not been the same. Hopefully, and we encourage people that when the turn is there, please take advantage of that, get vaccinated. Is one of the layers of protection that is proven that it gives you protection. Of course, as we mentioned already, everything has side effects, no? But so far the vaccine has been proved that are effective, and then whenever you have your turn, please get your booster or get vaccinated.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because even though we see the cases going up every year, we have the reports. Right now we're in a decline, but like I just said during the break, that's not going to last. And we hear people say, well, if the vaccine will work, why is there still COVID? You know, if the vaccine is a preventative measure, how come people still are dead from COVID? So what is the point that I take it, right? So how do you respond to those kinds of comments?
Well, as I mentioned, we've been discussing, nothing is 100%, but definitely what we've seen globally is that the people that are already vaccinated, they have the response to the COVID is best. If they for some reason definitely got the COVID, it's going to be less. It's going to prevent hospitalization, and if you get hospitalized, it will help you to have a lesser form of the disease.
It offers a layer of protection. You know, there's a layer of protection there. So, like Dr. Hidalgo so rightly stated, none of them has been proven to be 100% effective, and nobody has ever said that. So while you can still contract the virus, at least it's not to that point whereby you're needing to be hospitalized or lessen the possibility of ventilation and that sort of thing. So that is why it's important to get your vaccine.
Yeah, I think even with Omicron, there's been some data that shows how severity reduces with how much, how you're vaccinated. 1 vaccination versus 2 versus 3. And the more protected you are, the less likely you are to have severe COVID. So how do we close off this conversation? I know it feels very doom and gloom, but it is, I guess, an opportunity to just remind people of the threats that exist. Yeah?
Well, the threat is there. You know, people are traveling. We're living our lives. We have to be. We're out there working. Our children are going to school, so we just have to be reminded that we have this dark cloud still hanging there, and we have to be mindful of it, not just, you know, forget it. And so that is why I was trying to bring up the children as well. You know, we take them out. There's like, if you go out into the public, it's rare when you see the younger kids wearing a mask.
Yes.
You know, so if that's the case, I know it's not the most comfortable thing. Then we have to try and protect them and not expose them too much.
I've noticed kids have been, like, they've done their due diligence better than adults. They wear their masks, they have their little sanitizers on their bags, they're taking
The thing is with these younger kids that they, you know, these past years they've grew up in this.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what they know.
Parents teach them.
You know, it's like they learn to ride a bike, so they learn to wear a mask. They learn that they have to wear a mask. They learn that if they touch anything, they have to sanitize.
Yeah.
You know, so they grew this generation.
We have a future of germaphobes.
You know, that is true.
We got to get through the pandemic, and this is the important reminder that cases going down doesn't mean that you let your guard down.
Yeah, the COVID is there. Please be reminded that whatever is basically offer protection to know is wearing a proper fitting mask, wash your hands, keep social distancing, and make sure that if you are in a ventilated places.
Yeah. Perfect. All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming in and providing this update for us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for the
having
invitation.
us.
All right. With that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back,
we are going to have our Belize Estate and Company Limited will be promoting their new vehicle finance and leasing program. So stick around soon for that.
This COVID update was brought to you by Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service. Working off-site doesn't mean you have to be off your game. Studies have shown that simply adding a keyboard and mouse to your laptop increases productivity by 26%. Add a monitor, and you'll be 35% more productive. At Fulltech Systems, we have what you need to enhance your remote work or e-learning experience. With devices such as headsets, video conferencing monitors, webcams, keyboards, mice, docking stations, all with the brands you trust. Keep connected with collaboration tools like Microsoft 365 Suite and Kaspersky and perform efficiently no matter where you are. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Lamb's Funeral Service can assist you with a dignified send-off for your dearly departed, offering a complete funeral package which includes cremation, dressing, preparation, and repatriation of remains. Caskets, wreaths, and tombs are uniquely made by us. We provide quality service at the most affordable price.
Give us a call or WhatsApp at 626-5732 or 623-2597. During ceremonies, the option of live streaming is available. Lamb's Family Funeral Service. It's not just a business. We are a shoulder for you to lean on.
Staying connected with your loved ones while traveling is even more important during this global pandemic. With Digi, this is even easier and more convenient with our data roaming plans. Postpaid customers have instant access to mobile data within 41 destinations worldwide. With 3 affordable plans, starting at only $28, it's easy to instantly connect via your favorite digital platform. To purchase your data roaming plan, contact Digi before your travel date. If you are already abroad, you can contact us via email at digihelp@livedigi.com or via WhatsApp at 608-8888. For more information, visit our website at livedigi.com/digicel or visit a Digi store near you. You can roam, stay safe, and stay connected with Digi.
I never knew love until I found you. A fairy tale story that I thought would never come true. Join us on Friday, February 11th for Open Your Eyes' annual Valentine's Special. The show commences live from Smokies at 6:30 a.m. for a guaranteed time of fun, laughter, and love. But wait, that's not all. If you are ready to pop the big question this weekend to your significant other, we have an engagement ring for you. To participate, send us a private message telling your love story. Make sure to like and follow JEC Belize and Open Your Eyes BZ Facebook pages. A lucky winner will be selected this Friday. Don't miss Open Your Eyes Valentine's Special and start your morning right.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind-the-scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
Second conversation for today. We are joined by representatives of Belize Estate and Company. We have with us on set Henry Anderson, who is the General Manager of BEC. We have Ellis Sanchez, who is the Marketing Manager. And this time joining us via Zoom, we have David Vasquez, who is the Sales Manager and Assistant GM at BEC. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Thanks for having us. Good
morning, everybody.
I'm feeling a bit underdressed this morning.
Right?
Yeah, looking so spiffy. But that means you come delivering some serious news for us, right?
We think so, we think so.
I think so. All right, Henry, tell us what's going on.
Well, we're here this morning to talk about development in the industry. We always try to push things to a new level.
Yes.
You know, Belize Estate Company, it's 147 years old, right? It's one of the oldest corporations. We've gone through 2 pandemics, right? The first one and this one, and maybe we'll be around 100 years if another one comes.
Wow.
But we're a part of the Boeing and Boeing Group, and the mission of the group is pursuing excellence for a stronger Belize. And that is something that, you know, our owner takes seriously and we try to bring to life. So in everything we do, we look at the industry and we say, you know, what can we do to improve what is happening? Our mantra at BEC is keeping Belize on the move. So to cut to the chase, when we look at the vehicle market in Belize, you have, let's say on average, about 600 new vehicles being sold and about 8,000 used vehicles coming in. And a lot of those vehicles coming in are vehicles that have been crashed, you know, damaged. You can't use them again, but they bring them in, put them in a body shop, paint them up, and charge them very high prices.
Very true.
And then people go get financing, and they're paying the prices that you would pay for what should have been a new vehicle for an old vehicle. So we sat around and said, you know what? At BC, what we are trying to do over the past couple of years, we're trying to bring the same customer experience that you get in other countries with more developed automotive industries. And what we're here today to talk about is the launching of our financing and leasing options. So you could come to BC, and if you meet the criteria, Ellis will talk about those, then you will be able to drive away in a vehicle and pay us on terms. But you have some people who don't want to own a vehicle. Right? If you have ever owned a vehicle, you know that when it's time to change, then what do you do with the vehicle you have? Right? You have to sell it, and then how do you sell it? How much do you get for it? And if the other person can bargain better than you lose your shirt on it. Well, then you can lease a vehicle. And when you're leasing a vehicle, because you're not buying it, the payments are cheaper. You're owning a vehicle while it's in warranty, so then the expenses are less to operate the vehicle. Plus, you're able to change after a couple of years and always be driving a new vehicle. All right. You have some people who might be here for a couple of years, so they don't want the burden of owning a vehicle. You have different reasons why.
Yeah.
For younger professionals, it's an opportunity to drive a vehicle nicer that you can afford to own. So we're bringing that experience to Belize. And what we're not selling vehicles, right? And David will talk about this. We're selling mobility, right? It's the experience to have the freedom to get out there and enjoy, to create, to own, and to relax, and seamlessly getting out there. So that's what we're here to talk about.
This is a model that we do find in many other countries. The opportunity to lease a brand new vehicle, pay a monthly fee, and you have full access to it.
Right.
Have you done market research to find out how open people are? Because it's like if I go to a rental company, you're worried about what if I crash it? What's going to be the fees associated there? Have you tested to see whether there's interest in the market?
There is interest, but we understand that in the case of the leasing, we will have to educate the market a bit.
Yeah.
But you have to start.
Yeah.
Right? And we have tested this. We have tested our leasing product actually in a heavy duty setting where we did it with a forklift. So we can do that kind of thing for businesses as well.
Okay.
David and Ellis were on here, I believe, a week ago.
Yeah.
Talking about the program we're doing with the BTB. And that's the same products, except that's for a particular sector. But what we want Belize to know is that it's here for all Belizeans once you meet the conditions. We're looking at quicker turnaround times than if you go to the standard to the financial institutions. We own the product, so we can be a bit more flexible and everything else. And we have the ability, in the case if you're financing to own, that we can put in a prepaid service package for you and include the insurance and everything. So when you make that monthly payment, you don't have to do anything else other than drive and, buy fuel, right?
Yeah.
So you keep talking about meeting the criteria. So I guess I have to bring you into this conversation, Mr. Ellis. So what is the criteria?
Well, first and foremost, we made sure that we looked at this at a holistic viewpoint, and ensuring that when we are engaging with our clients, we want to be on their side. We're looking at it as a partnership, not as a holistic business venture per se. So we want to get to know you first and foremost, and that is big on any business that exists currently. So certain things that we would ask you for would be normal, conventional things to get to know our customer, IDs, job letters, utility bill, that sort of things.
Yeah.
But the biggest and the most important thing for us is the capability to repay back or pay back this financial product for the long haul. We don't want to put our customers in a position that they're stifled and not being able to meet that monthly obligation. And like Mr. Anderson mentioned, it's us providing that vehicle to you on terms, not us giving you a loan to buy that vehicle, which it's kind of the same thing, but it's different if you're looking at it that.
It's a payment plan versus borrowing to pay up front.
Exactly. So we're giving you a payment plan. And of course, ensuring that you can meet the financial obligation monthly is what we're here to look for you and work with you. So we will sit you down, you go and talk to Dave and schedule your appointment and ensure that you be open and transparent with us to the fact that we are able to then advise you on the different types of models, vehicles that you have.
Yeah.
Because of course there's different types, there's different price points that will be in it, and there's a product that would be suitable for every consumer if they so choose it to. And that's what we're here to do. We're gonna sit you down, talk to you and explain to you whether it be one of the Renault models that Sabrina had done the test drive. We're excited to see that.
Yeah.
Or you take it over into the bigger models, the Ford or the Kia brands, and we were able to work with you and sit you down and tell you, hey, okay, good. Based on your current monthly income and expenses that you have, this is an affordable monthly payment for you. You make sure that you have that surplus income that you can afford it.
Yeah.
And we'll work with you. And of course, like Henry had mentioned, the add-ons that you might need, whether it be you want to throw in a service package in there, your insurances to make it more comfortable for you, to just pick up and drive away, we're going to be here for you.
When it comes to the models of the vehicles and the customers, are the customers able to pick, choose? Is there transparency when it comes to looking at the engine, when it comes to looking at the battery, tires? Are the customers having that opportunity to actually look at the vehicle that they're purchasing?
Yes, I mean, in short of taking it down and reassembling it, one of the big things we say, it's to, let's take, for example, our Ford Ranger, and we'll segue to Dave because he talks about the vehicles, right? But the Ford Ranger is the best truck in Belize. A lot of people think of another brand when they hear it. But when you get into a Ford Ranger, test it, and you see that ride quality, it speaks for itself. You see the technology, the ride quality, you take it off-road, on-road, and then it speaks for itself. Yeah. But Dave, do you want to talk about the
I was going to ask, are you talking about being able to lease just about anything that BC offers, Dave?
Yes, pretty much. I mean, we've started off this program, ladies, and good morning. Good morning to you two lovely ladies, and good morning, Belize, my colleagues. We started off this program with the Renault product for a simple reason is that, right now the vehicle market is in chaos. There's so many things going on production-wise, and we are able to start with we wanted to have a jumpstart point in a product that is, one, affordable and also reliable. Those are the main precepts that people buy vehicles upon. Then upon, every individual starts getting into things like aesthetics. I want a pretty vehicle. Some like technology, some like durability. They live a lifestyle where they're going off-road a lot and stuff. So you start getting into more detailed things, but the main concept of car buying starts off with reliability and affordability. We've kickstarted this program with our Renault product. It's what we have available immediately, but it also offers the Belizean consumer a vehicle that is within price ranges, that people, I think Henry mentioned earlier in the conversation, a lot of people are wary of coming to a dealership because they can't afford a vehicle.
Yeah.
As we sit down and we start talking about, price versus the amortization levels and the rates that are being offered through this program, you'll start to see more and more, and as we peel away the layers, wow, I can actually afford a new vehicle. I don't have to, people are driven to the used car market because of that main thing, the affordability factor, more so than the reliability factor. It's sort of like, throwing up the dice to wonder if the vehicle is going to be a good vehicle or not. So I think from our standpoint, the Renault is the perfect vehicle to kickstart this program on. We were able to feature with Sabrina one of our new models, which is the Renault Duster, or one of the unique products that are now going to be in this market, which is a compact pickup truck, automatic transmission, nicely loaded with features and some of the nice tech equipment that people want in an attractive little package. This thing can maneuver around town. It basically has excellent fuel economy, which is another thing that discerning buyers are looking for now. Granted that fuel prices are going through the roof, but I think definitively this is going to be something that is going to draw attention, not just for the vehicle, but the program in itself.
All right. So there we have it. We're seeing tidbits of Sabrina there. So let's go ahead and check out her test drive of this. Is it's a four-door?
Yeah.
Four-door pickup, yeah.
It's a four-door pickup, yes.
Okay.
It's a 2022 Renault Duster Oroch. It's basically a hybrid type vehicle. Its genesis comes from the Duster SUV, but what they've done is create a unique package, as I mentioned before, in a compact pickup truck, lots of space, very versatile, has a nice molded rear end there. That inside at the pan is a molded plastic that is essentially a bed liner, and you can store your stuff. It's completely waterproof. It drains itself. The vehicle has excellent ground clearance, as you can see, as we're sporting around Belize City. I think one of you all mentioned, is it Well, we did get a chance to test that as we were driving.
All right, well, let's check that out, Dave. So our News 5 anchor, Sabrina Daly, had the opportunity to test drive, and she's going to share her experience with us.
So here we are, Miss Sabrina, your brand new 2022 Renault Duster Oroch. Here you go. Let's go for a nice test drive.
Okay.
You're in? Excellent. Everything, Sabrina, as you may need in your cockpit. Your space to start off with in terms of the leg room. Are you comfortable with what you have? Although it's a subcompact pickup truck, still a lot of room in here, both your headroom. There's the seat beside your normal adjustments in terms of your backrest and your sliding back and forth. You can raise, lower, gives you a nice opportunity to get in the right position, right? Let's start with the multimedia system. It is a touch screen system. You can change stations, you can change your features, you could do your Bluetooth connections, everything via touch screen. Besides the manual touch button controls here, there's also volume control buttons. While you can drive while engaged, you can change the volume up and down.
You can also answer your phone.
Yes.
That's
So
good.
once Bluetooth, you can answer and hang up your phone from there. Perfect, right?
I love that.
Your standard stuff. The cockpit, again, the wheel is of perfect size. It's a sporty design in terms of how it feels, the grip, everything else. The air conditioning is very European in its design. You know, a lot of what you see in the States are the standard vents that close like this. This is more a rounded styling. Fits with the whole pickup truck kind of motif.
It definitely adds to the
Adds
aesthetic.
to everything. It's called a Triptronic transmission. It's a manual, automatic and manual hybrid. So whilst you do have your standard automatic features of park, reverse, neutral, and drive, you can go to a manual feature when engaged in drive, whereby you actually trip the computer, tip it to change gears. So as you see the negative, lowering your speed, you go to a lower gear, and to increase your speed, like when you're gearing up, just like a manual, you tip it down and it shifts gear as you go along, right? It's kind of cool.
The closest I'll get to stick shift.
Closest you'll do, exactly. But it is a truck, but it's a lovely design in terms of space, comfort, the amenities, everything else, everything within reach.
I love it.
One of the things you'll notice, the suspension is nice and comfortable. It doesn't feel stiff like a truck. It is essentially a unibody suspension, which is more from a SUV design. So it is, while the roots of this vehicle is from a SUV design, it has the styling, the shape of a pickup truck. It still has the handling of a SUV.
Yes.
Nice soft power steering. How does it feel in terms of
Very
your
nice and
driving?
smooth. It doesn't feel like I'm fighting to turn.
And how the visibility? I mean, it's
Very
designed in a
good.
way where you still have that car-like feel, where you have a good visibility of the road. Typically, trucks are way up high.
Higher. Can you tell me a little bit about fuel?
Well, it is a gasoline vehicle. It uses premium gasoline. I know the price is going high right now, but it has more or less a 16-gallon tank. And this vehicle gives you upwards of 35 miles per gallon. Nothing like this on the market right now when you consider an automatic transmission pickup truck with the styling, the amenities, everything you find here for the price. $58,000 is an entry price. I think with the current rates that we're talking about, with the 7-year, 7% financing package, you're somewhere around $800 a month. So far, how you're feeling about the experience? I mean,
love
you
it.
look comfortable.
I
You look-
am. It rides really smoothly. It feels secure. It's not too low. It's not too high. I love the display.
But I love this vehicle for the feel of it. It's a, you know, again too, it can go anywhere in Belize City, and I can envision this going on the road, you packing up you and your family, and you say, let's go to Kaya for the weekend. It's a quick thing to throw things together, throw it in the back, and your bags and everything else, and the family jumps in, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I could definitely see that for myself as well.
There you have it, right? And I think a lot of people don't know. She spends quite a bit of time on the road. So she knows what's needed to be able to traverse around Belize. And that's just one of the vehicles that people can be able to lease. So why this model, and why do you think it's going to be a viable option for people and their needs here?
Well, when we're looking at, again, accessibility, first thing, the Renault brand for us, you know, we do Ford, we do Kia, in terms of and we're also Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
Yeah.
So we will launch that a little bit later in the year when we get the first set of products. But when you look at the Renault is a known brand, and the price point makes it more accessible. So we're introducing it. You know, when we were talking about buying the used vehicles, they're importing in the crash vehicles and that kind of thing. When you get that vehicle and you get that loan payment, the thing in the back of your head is what will go wrong, because something will go wrong and you have no warranty. And then that's where it's like, you know, playing fish pond. You don't know what you'll pull out, right? It's a big bad surprise comes. It's like Pandora's box. When you get a vehicle like this, you're getting 36 miles per gallon. You know, it's fuel efficient. It's a nice, sexy vehicle, and it rides, the posture, it rides high. So it's a fun vehicle. It's versatile. You can get the tonneau cover for the back and do all of those things. But when you get, let's say, depending again, the terms you want, if you're buying yourself, you know, and let me go to the Kia cars. The Kia cars might start at around $600 per month. And you have a brand new vehicle that's under warranty, right? What does that mean? That means that if something goes wrong, if you didn't, you know, beat up the vehicle and, you know, it's properly serviced, then that will be taken care of, right? So it takes the guesswork out of it. We have trained technicians, right? We send them all over the world to train. We have the modern tools. We spend, you know, in the last 3 years over $200,000 training technicians, right? So we are into this. We have modernized our website. It's mobile friendly, as they call it. And by April, May this year, we will be able to send you videos of your vehicles when we're doing servicing it. And so that's the kind of experience we're creating.
All right, for the car skeptics especially.
Yeah, but this one, we did it, as David said, because it's an exciting new thing to the market.
And I find that people generally like pickups. They're usually in demand because you feel like you can have
Take it anywhere as well.
travel vehicle for the family and still have utility function.
And some people want a pickup, but they don't want like the standard full-size pickup. This is too big.
Yeah.
You know, so this gives you the functionality, and it's a little smaller. It's easier to park, and it's fun to drive when you change the gear on that thing.
Have you tested it on like the Chickable Road?
That for the Chickable Road? Probably not. Right?
Does it have four-wheel drive? I have to ask.
No, that doesn't have four-wheel
Doesn't
drive.
have. Mhm.
But we have the Ranger Raptor that
Okay.
we're going to
There
show
you
you next
go.
month, and that you can probably drive up Mount Everest with that one.
I feel like
Right?
he's trying to
There
listen to
you
our-
go.
No, the Ranger Raptor
So-
is an awesome vehicle, and that can go everywhere. So when we will invite you to test drive that one, and
Well,
take it to Valley of Peace.
That's on camera and that's recorded, right? Okay,
You
good.
can take it to Chicky Bull. I know.
Dave, you want to win
Rafael
about the
Manzanero.
Raptor? You want to talk about the Raptor?
Well, the Raptor Ranger is going to be probably the most exciting product launch in Belize in a while. So you're talking about a uniquely spec vehicle that meets every demand. You know, the people like Miss April who want to go to Chicky Bull will have the perfect vehicle to do so.
Yeah.
It's going to have a unique suspension. The big selling point of the Raptor product is two things, right? Of course, the unique styling that it brings, differentiating itself from a regular, a normal product, like in this case, a regular Ford Ranger. What you're going to get in addition to it is a improved suspension, raised, larger wheels, a wider stance in terms of how it fits on the road. It's going to be a premium product, and it's going to fit into that active lifestyle. This truck was designed, and the Raptor brand in itself was designed for people who live active lifestyles.
Yeah.
The engine is going to be a bi-turbo, four-cylinder turbo diesel engine that's going to be incredible. The amount of power generated out of a small engine, the fuel efficiency that we get out of it. I mean, this thing, when you see it on the road, will call your attention. And driving it, you definitely have a lot of eyes looking at you. And it's going to be something that will be affordable, although it's a premium, ultra premium vehicle. The suspension of this would normally cost someone in and around $60,000 just for the suspension. We talk about all that's done to this vehicle. And we're going to come in at a price point that's going to wow the market, right? So April definitely will hold Mr.
This is recorded, right? I am going to come back and look at this recording. Shanice, it's recorded.
It's a test drive. Don't get too comfortable. But you can talk to them about the leasing option. But I got to say, you know, she's an archaeologist. She needs to get to the dig site. That will help her.
We have the Bronco that's coming back as well, right? The Ford Bronco is coming back, so we have some exciting products.
So let's talk here. When you say leasing and financing, everybody's watching saying, well, you probably have higher rates than what I can get anywhere else, because we're all expecting and waiting for the catch. So what are the rates that we're looking at? How affordable can this be for the average person?
So as I said, depending on the model of vehicle you're looking at, we're looking at monthly payments for the smaller cars starting around the $600 range, right? And then as you go up, depending on the type of vehicles, it would go higher.
Yeah.
The interest rate depends on, you know, what you bring to the table, you know, if you make a down payment and different things. So that's something we'll work out. But our interest rates, we intended to be competitive. And so we're looking at an average around 6-7%, and we'll see what the market plays out. We don't have all the other fees that when you go to other places, right? Because you're dealing with us and you're buying on terms at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right.
I have to ask because, you know, we're living in a very strange economic society now. And we have a lot of young professionals who can't even really afford rent, right? So what is your advice to them about leasing and purchasing?
So you're getting me into financial management.
Yeah.
So when you own something, right, you want to own it because it especially if you're young, it helps you to earn income, right? You have to look at your means and you have to have a path, right? So you have to be responsible. You would not want, and Les made the point here, when we sit with you, and while we are not your financial planner, we will not put somebody in a position where when they get the vehicle, they can't enjoy it. You know, we would prefer say, you know what, let's wait until you get to a certain point when you can afford this. Or, yes, you like the Ranger Raptor, but you know what? Maybe you can start with a Kia Rio for now.
Yeah.
It gives you the functionality, it gets everything for you and your family, and you do that. One of the points that Ellis made that I want to bring on, and I said that BC was 147 years old, and the reason I threw that out there was because what we're looking to do here is to develop a relationship. It's about experience. So we don't see this as, you know, you get a vehicle and you're gone. We see this as a relationship where we are part of your mobility solution, which is a, you know, when you make a purchase outside of a house, your vehicle is probably the second biggest one, right?
Yeah.
And,
it's not a luxury anymore.
It's not a luxury,
It's a
right?
necessity.
And so we want to be there not just for this vehicle, but we want to be there for next 60 years of your life, all right? To ensure that you know when you need your next vehicle, you come back to us, and it's there, and we understand your financial thing. Once we get to know you and you pay on time and you do everything, then we can offer you better rates, we can take care of you better because we know what the risk level is, and we can, and then, you know, if there's something happens that you need some kind consideration because we have a long relationship with you, then we would be in a position to work with you and to do that, right? So that's what we're looking for. We want to be your partner that provides your mobility solution, not now, but over life.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, so where do we go if we want to find out more about being able to lease your vehicle at BC?
Well, you can contact us at our phone numbers, 223-0641, and schedule an appointment with Dave. He's going to be the person for you to start off with. Or you can email us at info@becbz.com. Same thing, schedule an appointment so that we can get the ball going for you. Having that sit down and that one-on-one time to go through, you know, our list of requirements with you and find out basically your financial position, like I mentioned, is key.
Yeah.
Then we talk about different models or different options that you might be able to afford. And for right now, since the renewals are on the lot, those can be walking in, you schedule the appointment, you know, you walk out back driving, who knows? Depending on your qualifications, right? So the other models that we will be able to bring in, then you start up that discussion right now and have us work our way into, you know, special ordering, something that will be unique for you, like the Ranger Raptor, to go to Valley of Peace or Belmopan or Chiquibull.
Yeah.
But we would want you to, you know, talk to us and let us know where your standpoint is. Of course, some people might look at the aspect and say that they're currently driving right now, or if you're on a bus and you might be thinking and might be scared of doing this, take the leap. Find out, come and inquire and see what your options or your possibility are. And like Mr. Anderson mentioned, we're not going to be here for you for a short time. We're in this for the long run, and we're in this on the grander scheme of things to continue building Belize. We have seen our neighbors, you know, Mexico and Guatemala, who are already doing these types of products and services. And you don't necessarily see old vehicles when you go over to Chedamal. I know the borders have been open, right? But you don't see old vehicles when you're over there or even in Guatemala. And our hope is to do the same for Belize and change the market and give that whole Belizean vibe or that Belizean experience and change and into modernity, because of course these vehicles come with the highest level of technology. You mentioned
I was going to say, it's also, it will contribute to some of the road safety, minus speeding and drinking, but the reliability of the vehicle. Yeah.
You have, like I drive an Everest and it brakes for you. Yeah, so if it thinks it's going to hit something, it won't. It will slow down. So you have vehicles that can do that.
Right.
You know, we intend to usher in the electric vehicles into Belize when that time comes. All right, so when you look at the greater scheme of things, and again, going back to the overall mission of our group, right? Pursuing excellence for a stronger Belize. These are things that we look at. When vehicles are more fuel efficient and everything like that, you know, you have better engines, less pollution, and it's just doing the right thing for environment. Right?
All right. There you go. So you already have one person signed up for your next test drive, right?
All right.
And
you can't see it under this mask, but I'm so excited.
We'll see where that takes us. But it is a great opportunity. And I think, you know, without even diving into, because I don't want to discredit used car salespersons, you know, their starting point is enough for someone to go in and lease a vehicle.
Right. And I just want to make a clarification, right? We do sell used vehicles as well. I'm talking the crashed vehicles that come in, and then you put a lipstick on the pig and pass it off or something that's new. That's what we're talking about.
All right. So that is what you are able to now get at BEC. You can contact them and be able to find out whether or not you meet the criteria and what you can drive away with very soon. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in.
We're launching off on Monday. That's Valentine's Day, so it's, it's spreading the love.
Oh, so you're thinking this is going to be a Valentine's gift for some people.
Who knows?
Never know.
Salesmen.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to be hearing about the Valentine's Jazz concert that's coming up. So please, stay tuned.
No make no sense at all. No kind of sense. That Belize video when I have that sign up there in China for.
That not in your Chinese at all, that in Spanish.
You understand what it said then?
Yeah. It said wear your face mask properly, cover your nose and your mouth.
Will help prevent the spread of COVID to others. Together we could make Belize safe.
Wear your mask properly over your mouth and nose to protect yourself and others. Together we can keep Belize COVID-19 safe.
With eCash, bill payment is extremely convenient, and all utility companies accept eCash payments. What's even better? You get to split bills with your roommates, siblings, or whoever you desire. Simply open your eCash app, go to Bill Pay, tap the respective utility company, enter the information, and pay the bill. Then tap the transaction made. Tap Split the bill. Select Evenly. Send the request to who you are splitting the bill with, and get notified when they pay. Talk about making life easy and avoiding confusion. You can split the bill for restaurants, grocery stores, and for any eCash payment you make. To find your next yummy meal, hair treatment, or chill spot, simply open the app and utilize the geolocation service to see nearby businesses that accept eCash. Geolocation and bill payment make life a whole lot easier.
I chose Galen because of its strong reputation.
Great scholarships.
I came because I can take all my classes online.
It is what I need to take me where I want to go.
To learn more about our various programs, visit our website at www.galen.edu.bz or email us at admissions@galen.edu.bz.
And come soar with the Galen Eagles.
The ministry is collaborating with SpeedNet Communications to have a vaccination campaign for children ages 12 to 17 years. Children who get vaccinated will get a chance to win fabulous prizes, including backpacks with supplies, Nintendo Switch, tablets, book tuitions, and MiFi with 3 months data. Only children 12 to 17 years old can participate in this smart and Ministry of Health and Wellness raffle. At vaccination sites, each vaccinated child, upon being vaccinated, will receive a ticket to place their name, age, date of birth, BHIS number, and contact information on, which will be filled out by a parent or legal guardian. The sooner a person vaccinates, the more chances he or she will have to win. Get vaccinated, Belize. Vaccination saves lives.
Remember to bring in the love this Valentine when you come on down to Champion Security's first ever drive-thru extravaganza and purchase one of our fully loaded 8-camera packages.
Yes, guys, we urge you this Saturday, February 12th, 2022, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here at Champion Security. Remember, all COVID protocols will be set in place.
And remember, guys, the 14th person to purchase a camera package also gets a $100 gift certificate, so you don't want to miss it. Please come on down. Champion Security, where your safety is our business.
I never knew love until I found you. A fairy tale story that I thought would never come true. Join us on Friday, February 11th for Open Your Eyes' annual Valentine's Special. The show commences live from Smokies at 6:30 a.m. for a guaranteed time of fun, laughter, and love. But wait, that's not all. If you are ready to pop the big question this weekend to your significant other, we have an engagement ring for you. To participate, send us a private message telling your love story. Make sure to like and follow JEC Belize and Open Your Eyes BZ Facebook pages. A lucky winner will be selected this Friday. Don't miss Open Your Eyes Valentine's Special and start your morning right.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind the scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive. Won't even try.
Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, ain't gonna try. Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, ain't gonna try. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. People die every day, I'm not going with ya. I'ma find my own way, I'm not going with ya. It's okay, I'll wait. Even good people make mistakes. I don't wanna realize when it's too late. Drinking and driving is never safe. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, ain't gonna try. feeling so high. Better not drive. Ain't gon' try.
what a beautiful way to get the morning started. That was the lovely vocals.
Angelise, who is our jazz vocalist.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't think people know how difficult it is to sound so beautiful so early in the morning.
And on live, she was setting up before we cut in, and you know, she had to make sure that the sound was good, that the voice intervals were good, everything audio was balancing. That is difficult. I salute you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's talk about you and your music career and performing jazz in Belize.
Yes.
Angelise,
Yes.
tell us where this all got started.
Well, jazz is something that I've been exposed to from a very young age. I mean, my background, I come from a family of musicians.
That's right.
And, you know, my dad is a saxophone player, and that's where it all started. It was a child hearing him practice or rehearse jazz music. That's where my love for jazz started. And then, you know, as I got older, I learned to appreciate jazz even more. Like when for example, when I go to a really upscale restaurant, you know, you're there and you just hear jazz. It's like, oh my God, it's like, oh, you're just being taken to like another era. So it's just amazing. And one of the things that I really, really would want to see in Belize is that we kind of appreciate jazz a little more, even the younger generations, because it seems like people associate jazz with older people, or I don't want to say, you know, that it's like white people kind of music.
It's foreign. That it's foreign in some way. Yeah,
it's foreign, but it's not white people music.
No, because it started out with, you know, in those days it was the, you know, people of color that you know, they're the ones that they were singing the jazz in these clubs. You know, of course it had a bad rep at the time because, you know, we had like drug dealers owning these clubs, but that was how people were surviving. And so when it took on to you know, the upper class, as they referred to it back then, that's when it started to become an acceptable, classy type of music. But it's really a part of our culture as people of color. So I would hope that we would enjoy, you know, Belizeans would embrace it. You know, it's fine. I always say there's a time for everything. You know, we have, you know, we have our soca and, you know, reggae, but, you know, give jazz a little chance. You know, you have that romantic night or
soulful. That's how I find jazz. It's just soulful, whether it's upbeat, and I know they're very specific terminologies, but whether it's more upbeat or whether it's slowed down, there's just a feeling that you get. And I do think there is a growing appreciation. I want to say maybe the Belize Jazz Festival started to plant some roots as they had their jazz sessions. But to be a solo vocalist in Belize, I mean, and keep on, I know you've been doing this for quite a while, but to keep on pushing and keep on promoting and seeing that growing appreciation, what's that like for you?
Well, it's, you know, it can be a little, or let me say, it's my passion that keeps me going. I love to sing. I'm so happy that I'm in a place where I can, you know, even though I have a full-time job, you know, I have a little tourism background.
Working artist.
Right, you know, so I'm happy that I'm able to merge the two and just do it. And I always believe like in work-life balance. Like I sometimes when I travel, like Canada, for example, I'm amazed to see when you go to these restaurants or these pubs, you see people, you know, dressed up in business suit. They look like bankers, and I'm like, they're actually playing music. And so I had a friend that used to, he lived there, and I was like, why do these musicians look like bunkers and all these people? And they're like, that's because they are. So this is what they do as part of their work-life balance. And I'm like, oh, I would love to see more of that in Belize, you know? So that's one of the things that I'm a big advocate for that kind of thing.
And we can see that this morning. Looking very lovely. No, it's a part of what we absorb. We hear the music, we take in the look. Usually there's an ambience that matches it as well. Is this all a part of what we can expect at the virtual concert?
Yes, we do have, oh my goodness, you have to tune in, and it is gonna be aired through Digi's Facebook page also.
Okay.
So my page, Angelise, Facebook, that Angelise, and there will also be on Digi as well, because they're one of our partners.
Okay.
In this.
So tell us about putting together this show.
Well, it was my vision, it was my dream to do something different in Belize. I mean, at least from my time being, on this earth, I have not seen it done in Belize, where you have a virtual event and people would order in special items, like your grazing board, because that's what I'm doing, collaborating with these small businesses. And I have a real soft spot for our small businesses, because when I listen to their stories, it's the stories that you hear. It's so inspiring how they come about. So I'm collaborating with I Love Grazing Boards. So you can get your grazing boards. You can order it now. Don't wait until the show. Order, because people are, you want to be able to get that.
That's true. I got to call her. We've had her on the show before, so let me I got to make sure I get a little special space.
And then we have Sangria Mia, we have Candles by Kate, and these are all like locally made products that they're luxury products. And then we have, like, for example, like with the prizes, we have Emilio Pereira. He's donating 2 of his designer bags that are handmade. I looked at that and I was like, oh my God.
That. There it is up on the screen. Amazingly talented. Yeah. I love that. You're going full-fledged with the theme of Belizean entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And the setup for your vocals, you're singing, are you taking requests? Do you have your music set up? Do you have your song list set up? How is that going to flow?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. Again, I love my team at Kalo Studios. These guys, Andre, Jonathan, oh my God, the energy, because I work with energy, right? Oh my goodness. So we were thinking and said, okay, we're going to arrange the flow of the song, of all these songs based on the tempo. And, I was like, I think let's do energy. So Jonathan is like, no. Let's do intimacy. It's like, I don't want to say the word love making on TV, but it's going to be like, It's
about love.
Yeah, it's about love. So we're going to build you up to that point.
Oh, all right. So there's a specific pacing that is that's going to be implemented
and which flows really well with the entire genre of jazz, because you have so many different genres within the genre of jazz. I'm excited to tune in.
I'm excited.
So since you from the point of reaching out to some of these businesses, it means that you have to tell people about what you're doing, why you think Belizeans are going to tune in. What's been the response? I mean, I'm sure there are some people who are like, jazz, are you sure?
Actually, I am so amazed. I'm fascinated because people are so excited. The girl that was doing my makeup, for example, when I did a makeup for a show, and she was like, wow, I'm so into jazz, and she's very young.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people. It's there, but I guess there's not the avenue for it. Yeah. So I want to change that.
You will, especially if it's sounding like the way you sound this morning. Yeah. What's your favorite? I mean, is there something that you just absolutely look forward, love to perform?
I am a person of soul. Like, I love to connect. Any song that that makes me connect with my audience. But I also love songs that are playful, because it kind of goes with my personality. Yes, it matches perfect with my personality. I know a lot of people in a professional setting would see me more, in a different light. Let's just say that. But when it comes to jazz, when I'm in my element, that's my playful side that I would just bring out,
Yeah.
So it's usually music that brings that out.
Like what song? What's a playful song that
One
you
of
could
my
tell us about?
song is Honeybee, Honeysuckle Rose. You know, it's just about a woman just like singing how she's like proud that she has this you know, this honeysuckle rose, this flower, and you have like every honeybee, they want to be up, they want some of this, you know, honeysuckle
some
rose.
of the honey from the honeysuckle rose.
I mean, yeah.
So it's very flirtatious.
Yes, flirtatious, but in a tasteful way. You know, songs like Misty. You know, I get misty. Look at me. I am helpless as a kitten up a tree. And I feel like you know, it's just like when you touch me, I get misty. You understand? It's tastefully done.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about jazz. It's just a beautiful expression of things that we would say in everyday terms, you know, or express at least.
The language of jazz is very different.
Yes, and that's what fascinates me about it.
Can I just say, I feel like you talking about jazz music, all of you lights up. Like the love you have and the passion you have when you're talking about your songs, what you like to perform.
Yes.
And that's passion coming through.
Thank you.
What's the idea in getting other people on board? I mean, they may love it and they don't even know yet.
Yeah.
Yes. Other people as in...
Other singers, maybe
musicians.
people who maybe, musicians, thank you.
Yes. I'm glad you asked that, and I just want every musician out there to know it is my dream to have live musicians, but as you know, we come as a team, we have wonderful energies. You know, I hope that there's a bass player out there, you know, the upright bass, you know, a trio, a quartet. It's my dream for us to be in studio and just take songs, even songs that are popular to other people, and just recreate something using all our energies. That's my dream, my vision. When I look at, you know, I saw the movie with Aretha, and I saw how, you know, when she was in studio, how all this came about. I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I want. You know, just all the creative energies, and we create something new. I do have my original songs that I plan to release at some point also.
Nice.
So, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I wanted to also commend you for it, because you are you're the first jazz solo vocalist that I've met. But I have met people that are into jazz and they have their little jazz bands. I think the University of Belize has a jazz band club.
They do.
Yes, so it's I think I'm seeing that jazz culture, that jazz community emerging slowly but surely. So I feel like your promotion is going to expand that a little bit. And I really just love the entire look of jazz. And it goes very well with your flyer promotion.
Thank you.
Yes.
Dark, sultry.
Yes. Very much like what you're wearing, all down to your shoes.
Hey, come on now. We got to get sexy. All right. So, February 12th, this Saturday, people can tune in. It's going to be live on Facebook. I should ask, is it going to be live, or have you recorded the session already?
It's going to be simu-live.
Okay.
So it's going to be simu-live. Yes.
Some are recorded, some...
Yes. We had to do that because, you know, the world of technology can be very... I mean, you know, so, yes.
And how long is the show?
It's going to be about an hour, maybe an hour, 15 minutes. It all depends on how the flow of things.
Okay.
But since we have you here, we also know that we have some giveaways.
Oh,
yes. So what will you be giving away to our viewers this morning?
So I have 2 tickets. And so these tickets are normally given when you purchase from our collaborators, I Love Grazing Board, Sangria Mia, Candles by Kay, Emilio Pereira, Sweetheart Studios, because they're actually designing an earring for me also to wear on the night.
Okay.
Yes, they make these are all local artisans, you know. So once you buy from them, every $25 you spend with them, you get one of these same tickets, and then on the ticket is where you are going to scan. There's a QR code. You submit your entry online. It's not writing out names. You submit your entry online, and then you get a confirmation, and you're in, and we do the raffle live.
And the prize?
Prizes, oh my God, there are tons of them, but I'll name a few. So we have Emilia Pereira giving away 2 bags, 2 of his artisan bags. Then we have the Elysian, Sunset Carib, Turtle, sorry,
Quite
Costa
a
Blue.
bit of staycation.
Yes, so these are great prizes. These are just some of them that we have that we're going to be giving away on the show.
Okay.
But do you have any giveaways for our audience this morning?
2 tickets.
Okay.
That's 2 chances.
Raffle tickets.
2 raffle tickets.
To be able to win one of these fantastic prizes. And these are going to be selected the night of the concert.
The night of the show, yes.
Okay, so if you would like to be the winner of 2 of these fabulous raffle tickets, head on over to Open Your Eyes BZ on our Facebook page and answer 2 questions. So the first question is, name one of the small businesses that has partnered with you for the event. So name one. She's mentioned quite a few, but you only have to name one small business that she has partnered with. And the second question is, what is one of Angelique's favorite songs to perform? So that is, were you paying attention? Kind of question. So the first question is, which small business has she partnered with for the event? And which is one of her favorite songs to perform? And of course, the first 2 persons that answer correctly wins a ticket each. So good luck, viewers.
All right. So remember, once again, you got to comment in the live stream of Open Your Eyes BZ. So for somebody who has never been to a jazz concert, maybe they don't know that they've heard jazz music before, what would you say to them as to what expectations they should have on Saturday night when they click that link and tune into the show?
One, just have an open mind. Have fun, because we're going to have tons of fun. And what I've done is I've tried to incorporate a few popular songs, but in jazz.
Okay.
So songs that, for our culture, we talk about jazz standards. People wouldn't even know what that song is. I perform in front of tourists, and they're singing the songs with me. But Belize, I can't do it. Well, for some people might not know some of these songs. So I tried to put songs that are familiar. But, jazz, soul,
but in jazz style.
In jazz style, yes.
But I hear you say that, but there's so many famous songs that we don't even know are associated with jazz. Like you have Sade, B.B. King, Aretha Franklin. And people are singing it, but they don't know that it's jazz.
Yes. All right. So your big show is, and you also do solo performances. Like people have you perform at different events as well.
Yes, it's right now, I'm just solo right now, but I really want to work with a group,
She's looking for a band.
All right, maybe you need to go to UB. I had no idea UB had a jazz club.
We had a jazz club, and they're wonderful as well, and they have amazing vocalists that are trying.
Yes. All right. Well, Angelique, it has been lovely to have you here, having some beautiful music to start our morning. Perfect weekend for you to have your concert, and I love the collaboration with the small businesses.
Thank you so much.
So the show is going to be on your Facebook page, facebook.com/Angelique, and it'll also be live on Digi. So people can watch it on either one of those platforms, and it starts at 8 on Saturday night.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very excited. I'll tune in.
All right. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, we'll let you know who the winners of our giveaway are. That's coming up in a few.
Pelican, the beer of Belize.
When something is good and you can save, that makes it even better. Like this guy, he buys Flex bundles using his promo credit. No worries when his primary credit is finished. He gets talk, text, and data for free. Or her, she calls her family internationally with her promo credit. And with data packages so affordable, she even does video calls. Smart continues to offer great deals and affordable promotions. As a small business owner, she saves when she uses her promo credit to call the other guys. All Smart customers enjoy more triple days and knowing they can use their promo credit, which just lasts longer. Smart, bringing people together.
Hi everyone, my name is Gabriela and my name is Kieran. Today we're going to be learning how to put on makeup.
Connecting people, creating memories, sharing a smile. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank contactless MasterCard debit card. Introducing our standard debit and MasterCard Platinum debit cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
And we're back.
Yes, we are. Just like that, Thursday morning is already done.
I mean, we're really out of time, but we want to say very quickly that the winners of the giveaway are...
Yes, Farid Ahmad. So one raffle ticket and Georgia Nunez. So you both are the winners for the raffle tickets for the Jazz Valentine Music Jazz Festival on Saturday.
Now, of course, that does mean that you are eligible for some of the fantastic prizes that are going to be incorporated in the show. Please check it out. Saturday, February 12th, live on Facebook, Digi Belize's page and Angelisa's page. And you can enjoy some beautiful music, and be sure to order your other items to set the mood.
Your grazing board.
Your grazing board, your sangria, anything that you'd like to set the proper mood.
Yes.
But we got to go. So if you would like to contact us, send us an email at
OYE at channel5belize.com, or you can also find us on our social media pages on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BC and OYE Belize on Instagram.
There you go. All right, do remember tomorrow, April, is the Valentine special.
It is.
The day that we will be talking all about love. We're going to be talking about being single. Okay. Just in case you didn't know. All right, so there's a lot of fun coming up, great entertainment, great prizes, so don't miss it.
We are going to have a lot of fun. Yes, and there is that little call for a couple that is looking to get engaged.
Yeah.
You know, we are giving away a ring. So
an engagement ring.
An engagement ring. So if you are that guy that, you to try sneaking at least something for Valentine's Day, you can always contact us and maybe we can have something special for you on our Valentine's special.
All right, so that starts at 6:30 tomorrow right here on Channel 5. Don't miss it. All right, but we got to wrap up the show. We'll see you again when you open your eyes.
And you start your morning, right?
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open.
We'll see you soon. Enjoy your day, Belize.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.